Hello people, so as you saw in the title, today I'm going to explain why playing on iPad is so OP compared to playing on phone. I think this is a question that many people ask, and I think to really answer the question you need to have experienced playing on both at a high level. So of course many pro players actually did that last year during the champ stage 4, you know, before the comp scene was actually iPad only pretty much, and then of course when stage 4 was announced that we were all playing on phone, everybody switched to phone. And so yeah, I had to experience the switch, and so I know personally a lot about why playing on iPad is just so much easier than playing on phone. So let's get into it. First of all, I think I'm not going to talk about the components of the device, and so I don't give a shit about that. I'm just going to talk about the major differences. So the major difference, of course, is going to be the screen size. But what does it actually mean? Why is it going to enhance that much more your performance? So first of all, of course, you're gonna have a better vision. I don't know if that's a fucking word in English, but you're just gonna see stuff so much more easily. And honestly, like the first time I actually played on phone, I thought I was fucking blind because I literally couldn't see shit. And I remember I actually had to drop my FOV down to 60 and gradually put it back to 75 because I just couldn't see fucking shit. I thought that was bad. Now Chinese eyes, oh my god. But yeah, so that's a good example. You really can't see shit. And of course, bigger screen size also means a lot more space for your thumbs. So of course, because we're playing on phone, your fingers are touching the screen, so they're kind of taking space on your screen. So of course you're gonna have already a bit less vision. On iPad it's not a big problem because your screen is already that big that your fingers are not going to cover that much. But on phone it kind of covers a lot. I would say it covers like a third of the screen playing 4 fingers, so that's honestly a lot, to be honest. And also playing depending on your HUD, you're not gonna have as much space for your fingers to move around. So first of all, you're gonna be making more misclicks on your buttons. Like for example, I want to ADS, I'm gonna misclick jumping instead of VS way more easily on phone than on iPad, because you know my buttons are so much closer together because I don't have that much space, whereas on iPad, you know, I can properly space each button out and not really make that much misclick mistakes. And also, for example, the recoil control on iPad is just so much easier to control recoil, for example, and just to move your thumb down. I know on phone I struggle a lot when somebody like slides into your fucking face. I'm just there trying to shoot down, but then I run out of space on my screen and like fuck, and the guy just kills me because I just can't aim down enough. So yeah, that's one thing. Now second, because you know everything is so much bigger, of course your accuracy is gonna be so much better. For example, like on phone, imagine on phone and iPad, there's an enemy in 10 meters. On iPad it's gonna be like the enemy is the size of a black dick, and on phone it's the size of a Korean dick. So you know you understand the difference, I think. So the example is a bit shit, but you know what I mean. Like shooting a guy on iPad is just gonna be so way easier. Like for example, back when I used to play scrims on iPad, I was averaging around 30% accuracy on iPad, which is, you know, really good. But then now on phone I average around 20% accuracy, which is like 10% drop in terms of accuracy. Is fucking insane. You have no clue. Of course I'm not talking about ranked, because ranked is completely different. And also another example is sniping on iPad. iPad sniping is so fucking OP compared to phone sniping. Like that's why many pro players, they're not gonna when they see like a fucking sniping montage of a player on iPad, they're not gonna be as impressed as a sniping montage on phone, because the snipers on phone know how hard it is to actually snipe on phone and be accurate. I don't know if you follow the EU com scene, but for a few tournaments after the switch from iPad to iPhone, there was still some iPad teams, and there was a team called VG, a Russian team, and they were like the best fucking iPad team. They were crushing everyone, and even some fucking tournament games, they were just running 5 snipers because it was that easy, and they were just crushing other iPhone teams. And also during the switch, we also got to see like iPad players and iPad teams that weren't really that known during the iPad era, but when all the top iPad teams switched to phone, they kind of came out the shadow and became top tier 1 teams compared to those phone teams. And that just goes to show how iPad is so much easier and so much more OP compared to iPhone. Of course, there are some rare cases where, you know, a player is gonna be naturally better on iPhone, but I think when most players, when they say I'm better on phone than I was on iPad, they actually mean that they're better compared to the rest of the competition. So let's say like on iPad, they were not standing out as much as the other iPad players because they were not as good as the other iPad players, but now that they're on phone, they, you know, stand a bit more out than the other iPhone players, so they're gonna think they're better on iPhone than on iPad, which is not necessarily the case. I think if you put the same person on iPad in a 1v1 against the same person on iPhone, I think most of the time the iPad one will win against the iPhone, because you just have so much more advantage playing on iPad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Honestly, the only advantage you have on phone is that you have a much better grip, and I think because, you know, you hold it like this, it's very light compared to like holding a fucking iPad. It's like a TV screen. Of course, not many players hold the iPad like this. I think a lot of players just put on the table and just play like this, but it's really not healthy for the neck, so I think playing like this is much better. But anyway, yeah, when I used to play like this on iPads, when I play for hours, it just kind of got heavy, you know, whereas on phone it's really not that heavy, so that's a good thing for phone. But other than that, I think iPad is just so much easier, and overall it just gives you a much better gameplay experience. So if you're not a pro player and you have an iPad, I recommend you just playing on iPad, because first of all, you're gonna be better, and second, you're just gonna have way more fun playing on iPad than on phone. That's why many content creators still play on iPad, because it's just much better experience for everyone. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. Hoped you liked it. Make sure to sub if you haven't already, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.